What is going on, everybody? I'm here bringing you guys a video trading update, and not too sick this time. Feeling a whole lot better. On the other videos, my voice was a little bit scratchy. I was not feeling the best and decided to stop making the videos for some time. But we're back. It's a Saturday night. Most people are clubbing, partying. We're here bringing you guys some trading updates and for you guys to see my trading setups and how I've been tweaking my strategy here and there, but mainly the main focus I would say in this video is how nicotine and caffeine have quite they made me a better decision maker in this market. And I'm going to say straight up, nicotine has even though it gets a bad rep or certain people don't take it because it's too addictive, I will say that certain things they do give you better decision making tools, or for you to have a clear state of mind, for you to make better decision making. And when you're in a market like this, man, it's a huge thing. You need every tool in your belt to get the good setups and to know when your model's being presented and to take quality decisions, because that's what trading is about. It's about making and taking better decisions instead of you, let's say you want to long it here. It doesn't make sense because the market, it's already too extended. Where we were in a higher, yeah, we've been creating highs for the past week or so, and it's not ideal for you to be longing here trying to catch a 1 of 5. It'll be better if you shorted in an overextended market. So right here we're pretty much doing our thing, and we caught a supply pushing up. I should have entered in a better entry spot down here. For this trading setup, going to run through it pretty quick. I should have entered in one of these candles down here, but we ended up entering up here. I was waiting for more confluences and ended up biting me in the ass because we could have caught a little bit more, and that's okay because we pretty much made money for the day and we're good to go. Right here, you see that I exited out of the trade. I exited pretty early on. I would say I should have waited a little bit longer to see if I wanted to really exit. And the reason why I decided to get out of the trade around this area right here that you see, I'll point to it real quick. Let me see. Where's the arrow? Boom, boom. We pretty much had an area right here where it started to break off. And you see that around this area, we started to quite break, stop from making new highs, and start breaking these levels of support. We were continuing bullish. We were making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. We kept doing this, right? And right here started to trip me up a little bit because we failed to make new higher highs, and we started to consolidate around this zone. Then we started to push back down, break these zones, which I did not. It seemed that this could have been the high of the day, and from this point we would have started pushing way lower, but obviously we kept going higher and then it started pushing low. This will sometimes happen, and you have to be okay with you closing here, knowing that it could have continued going higher. But looking at the market during the time, if you were to go back in time, you would pretty much see that this market is overextended, and at some point it looked like it was going to dramatically fall down, which it did in this move. And surprisingly, I was going to go for the sells too. I was hoping that we would get a push even higher and then sell it off. But during this time, pretty much, I don't really take any executions. I don't look at the market past 10, around 9, could be even 8. If there's no quality setups, I'm not going to force anything. And that's pretty much it. So right here, you guys see me drawing this line that we're pretty much at the top of the range, and right here I was being a little bit more skeptical. I was looking at this candle. If it would have broke below here, I would have definitely would have exited the trade or moved to break even, because at this point there's no point in you trying to continue risking your money, putting on your money on the line, and it failing to make new higher highs, then starting to come into a position where it's making lower lows and lower highs, which the market's shifting. You do not want to put your money at risk at that point, and much better move stops to break even, which that is part of my new strategy. And the reason why, like I mentioned, I'm switching strategies is because changing a couple things in my strategy. Don't get me wrong, I'm still having the same idea, supply and demand, working with liquidity levels. I want to capitalize on the moves, and certain times when I would take one-on-ones, I would also fail to make as much as possible during that one move. I would just put myself at a cap, and I would pretty much just limit myself to a one-on-one, which didn't make sense. Some people may say, hey, it does work if you have a higher strike rate or win rate of a 50%. But at that point, you're pretty much leaving money on the table. You're not taking or capitalizing on the setups in which the market does go your way. And that's how I've been doing it these past couple of days. I would say for this whole week, we've been doing good, man. And we also have another setup here where we took the sells. We ended up making quite a bit of money on this. I would say that the reason we took this is because it started to switch structure. We went from a bullish market clearly on a downtrend, and looking back at this, I would say that the reason why I was waiting for a big portion of this move to go past 7 o'clock is because news was going to drop, and I wanted to wait what would happen. I do not like trading news events, and this day in particular, which happened to be on a Thursday, we just ended up going, and it was a really bearish day, but then it started pushing up towards the end of the day. You could have capitalized on both sells and buys if your model was presented, but that's why I took it a little bit later. News was presented around 7. I think we also had news before then. I essentially don't want to be trading any red folders, so that is why I waited past 7 o'clock, because news was going to drop around 7 a.m. PST during a Thursday, and that's why I got in here at 7:10. We pretty much were still we were still respecting the majority of structure. You guys can see we were still doing higher, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and for the most part, we were still respecting all of this. And then once I see a clear break of structure, once I saw this breaking, that is when I executed, put stops up here, because at that point it's invalid. The trade, everything's invalid, and at some point, if price fails to go lower, and let's say we start trending upward, it has to break these levels for us to start trending up. So that is why I put my stops here, take profit, 1 to 3, easy stuff. And at this point, I could have squeezed out a little bit more, but I wanted to call it a day at 1 to 3, close to a 1 to 3. And that is pretty much it. I also was looking at this pattern right here when we failed to make higher highs and higher lows. Then we started to break structure, completely break structure, because we started and getting a big push to the downside with this candle. This would have been ideal for us to get in around this area, but like I mentioned, I do not want to trade before news, and hopefully get a candle where it just completely wicks us out. We enter news, and that is just not ideal. You do not want to be trading news by any point. I know some people do, and they say they don't mind it, but to me, it'll completely just become so volatile where you do not know what it's going to be doing next. From here on out, we're good to go, man. And by the way, I was taking nicotine and caffeine during these two trading days, man. I I don't usually do this, bro. I don't usually talk about my trading setups, but I wanted to today to just give you guys an update and to know that we're still crawling out of drawdown, bro. We're pretty much good to go, like I mentioned on some accounts, and that is trading. That is the beauty of trading. You can quite literally go for a month. It could be a slight red, and then and boom, in one trade you make back everything and more. So anybody that tells you that's not trading or you're gonna be green every single month is completely lying, because most pros at some point do have red months, and that's what it is. So quarter 4, we're pretty much on a good start. We're in a hot streak. Let's keep this rolling for next week, and that it is what it is at this point. Like I mentioned, I don't want to make this video too long. We already been going at it for 11 minutes, and so far these are some quick points that I wanted to mention on taking caffeine and nicotine. If you're going to do this, right, and I'm not no financial expert, you guys need to be following me. This advice, do not follow it by any means or take it with a grain of salt when it comes to these next points. That nicotine and caffeine, you got to be aware of how your health situation is, and if you're already been taking these substances or you already been taking these things for quite some time, and you notice a good you just notice that your decisions are getting better and better, or each time that you come into the market and you take some coffee, that it just it puts you in the state of mind where when you are focused and you are sharp, you're looking at your model completely, you're visualizing your model, you know what to look for, and you're sharp, you're on top of it, you're not just sluggish or you're looking at other things completely bored, or you're tired, you're sleepy. That's what I mean by this helps you out, because I know certain people, they roll out of bed and now they're looking at the market, and that can quite affect your decision making. But like I mentioned, if for whatever reason you do not take these things, do not let me be the reason why you're starting to take these things and now you're pretty much putting your body at some risk. Do not take these things. Do not follow me if for whatever reason you may you may have, right? When it comes to nicotine, pretty much like I mentioned, understand that these things, you have to be aware of the risk and what you're essentially putting in your body when you're taking these things. But for some people, it does help them improve their decision making, and there's been countless studies. I might leave the video of Andrew Huberman in the description below, where he actually runs studies of how nicotine and him taking nicotine gum can quite literally improve your cognitive decisions and your mental state of mind. When you're coming into the market, this is pretty much ideal for you to have a calm state of mind, a sharp, focused state of mind, for you to execute clearly and what you're looking for pretty much every single day. If you're a scalper, I know that you're getting tired and your emotional state of mind is being worn down, and the last thing you want is to come into the next day and you're pretty much fatigued from yesterday, and your decisions are just all over the place. So that's what I would say there. I would say, like I said, accept the risk of you taking these things, and for certain people, they do not like taking them because it does put them in a more anxious state of mind. But just be aware of the risks that comes with these things, and surprisingly, you never know. I know it may sound stupid, but it's true. You you don't know if it can quite literally improve how you're looking at the markets or the charts every single day. So I'm gonna leave it like that. I hope this video brought you guys a new perspective. This again is a new trading update. Do not take any advice, if you guys think, hey, I'm a fucking blindly just follow your advice because I know that you have you have these payouts, you have this going on. Don't take my advice. Do your research, do your own research, and see for yourself if you actually want to do these things. And that's what I would say on the topic of nicotine and caffeine. For the terms of me taking these trading setups, I would say that I'm going to continue following the process of my new improved strategy and see how we do the next week. But if for some reason we start to deviate from our executions, we start to take some goofy ass setups, we take some weird things, then I'll bring it to you guys' attention and we'll go from there. But like I mentioned, I do not like to BS people and lie to them. I'm being 100% honest. So we lost one. I believe we won the rest. And for this week, we were down. We were pretty much down on Monday. And from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we have been at least around break even or in the positive. So we made back everything from Monday and we're good to go on the week. So if you guys also want to learn these trading setups, I do these videos on the regular. I try to do them on the regular and help you guys with my with improving executions. And if you guys follow a similar model, then I know certain people on ICT especially, they would have taken the same setup, same everything. But I don't offer coaching as of right now. I don't offer mentorships. Certain people have been telling me, "Hey, you should probably do a program," but I'll probably I'll probably keep it like this for a while until we start to continue leveling up and getting more experience. So, this is a video. I'm done with the talking points that I wanted to make. I hope, like I mentioned, that we start to improve each day with our decisions and how we're executing our models. So I'm pretty much done. Right now I'm head asleep in a bit. I'll catch you guys in the next video and let's keep rolling for the next week to see what's been going on. So I hope you guys have had a good week and let's keep this rolling, man.